Hi, I'm Jason from StrataGames, and today we're playing some more Pauper. This is a homebrew deck. Specifically, this is abzan, Gates, Food, Dredge. Why not all three? So, because of Bloomburrow, I wanted to make some sort of food deck. Cauldron Familiar, probably the best food card in the format, but I think Carrot Cake is actually surprisingly powerful. It gives you a 1/1 and scries you 1 when it enters or is sacrificed, and it gains you 3 life, of course, but you can sacrifice it to other effects and still get the bonus of the 1/1 and the scry. So we also have a couple Lord of the Rings cards to help with our food. We have a couple Revive the Shire. Since we are a Dredge deck, as mentioned, we have a lot of cards going into our graveyard, so Revive the Shire can get one back and also get a food token. And we are abzan, so we're 3 colors, so many partings is going to help fix our mana while also making us a food. The Dredge part of that is Stinkweed Imp. As always, what other card are you going to play? It's definitely the best Dredge card, but I think it's going to be a little cooler in this deck than in some others because we actually want to have the body that keeps coming back over and over and over again because of our Gates package. So we're, of course, Basilisk Gate, Black Dragon, Citadel Gate, Manor Gate, and a Heap Gate. The reason we're playing Gates is because Cauldron Familiar is a small creature that just keeps coming back and back and back. Stinkweed Imp is also a small creature that just keeps coming back. Creatures that are resilient but small are great for a Gates deck. No matter what your opponent does, they can't keep them dead, and that just works great. So we also have Lunarch Veteran, which can come back from your graveyard disturbed, and Breathless Knight, which has Flying and Lifelink, which is fantastic with our Gate theme, and it comes back from your graveyard whenever you reanimate another creature like our Lunarch Veteran or our Cauldron Familiar. Hello, Jason from the future. I very much misunderstood what Breathless Knight did. For some reason, I thought that it reanimated from your graveyard whenever you cast or reanimated a creature from your graveyard. So I thought the Lunarch Veteran and the Cauldron Familiar would just bring it back from the graveyard too. That's not what it does. It simply gets a counter if it's on the field when those come back from the graveyard. I realized this interaction pretty quickly in match 1, but just so you're not confused, when I get confused why it doesn't work properly, it's because I'm an idiot. And then we have Malevolent Rumbles and Satyr Wayfinders, which are great for filling our graveyard, finding all 3 colors of our mana, and finding our gates. And they both provide a small creature that can also be suited up with our Basilisk Gate if we need to. And just like most Gates decks, this is a control deck, so we have cast downs in order to remove pesky creatures so that we can survive until the late game when we have several gates to win the game. We're also playing just 1 Eviscerator's Insight. I couldn't really find room for more of them, but I think I might want more. This is a nice card that can get binned with any of our Dredge or Mill cards to flashback to draw cards, and also sacrifices an artifact or creature. We're going to have spare food and Cauldron Familiars that we don't mind sacrificing at all. And then I borrowed an idea from actual Cawgates and put in a couple Prismatic Strands. We do have enough white creatures, I think, with it. We have 4 Lunarch Veterans, 4 Breathless Knights, and 4 Carrot Cakes, which give us white creatures. So ideally, we'll be able to flash this back no problem. But this is just a nice way to survive the early game and get to the late game where we can start gaining life, taking control of the game, and winning from there. We're also playing 1 Suffocating Fumes for similar reasons. We need to make sure we don't die too early, and this is a great card against mono red, white weenies, fairies, whatever go white strategy you're playing against. Our sideboard's pretty standard right now. We have a whole bunch of Dust to Dust and Revoke Existence for any affinity matchups we hit, a couple of Arms of Hadar for those go wide matchups. Thraben Charm takes care of your graveyards, enchantments, and also other creatures that you need to get rid of, and a couple Standard Bearers in case we go up against Brood-Scale combo, Bogles, or anything like that. I'm pretty excited for this one. Definitely wanted to get some sort of food deck coming out of Bloomburrow, so let's jump right into the games. All right, this hand looks all right. We have 3 gates, including all 3 of our colors, and just a bunch of creatures. Cast down's a nice removal spell, so I think we're going to keep this one. So let's give it a try. We're going to start with the Black Dragon Gate, naming white. They have a Utopia Sprawl. Really hoping this is just Gruul Monsters where we have a shot, as opposed to Ponza where we will already have lost the game. Malevolent Rumble for them. More mana, more big creatures, or a medium creature. They choose the Arbor Elf, which they get down right away. I have a cast down. I could just cast down the Arbor Elf. I could save the cast downs for the big creatures, but if they play more than a couple big creatures, that's going to be pretty rough. I think they already have 4 mana and probably 5. Probably just need to save the cast downs. So I'm going to play this Manor Gate, play a Lunarch Veteran, and just pass. They can play something enormous while there's a Chrysalis. That's pretty big. Untap the Forest and can play up to a 5-drop here. Gonna untap and not actually cast anything off of that. Okay. So I think I'm just going to get down Stinkweed Imp as a nice blocker. Keep playing Gates whenever you can. Gain a little bit of life, and now we have a nice Death Touch blocker. If they go for the initiative or anything like that, we can cast down the Chrysalis and take it with the Stinkweed Imp, which is kind of nice. They are Ponza. Great. So Acid Moss, not the Basilisk, but the Black Dragon Gate. I guess that's our only white source at the moment. And they have a boarding party. I just want to make it clear that I have not played against actual Ponza in 3 or 4 weeks since it kind of fell out of favor. And of course, the one time that I take a lands deck is when I actually play against it. All right, they're going to rumble. Rumble into, looks like an Avenging Hunter. Well, they're going to swing with both, and we're going to block the bigger one, I guess. We can just dredge this back and play it again. So not the end of the world. We'll take 5 here. And I think we want a creature that keeps blocking these guys, plus flies over, so we're going to take it. We dredge an Eviscerator's Insight, another Stinkweed, a Breathless, and a Lunarch Veteran. That's pretty hot. So we could cast a Lunarch Veteran and get a Breathless Knight as well. That's 2 flyers. That makes the initiative even harder, because if we play Stinkweed, we're going to want to block with it. If I get 2 flyers, they have to leave this back, and then I can cast it down. I think that's a little better, actually. So let's get... Nope, because this doesn't tap for white yet. Okay, so I can still do it. I just have to play my planes, which is a little annoying. I was hoping to get my Dragon Gate down, but that's fine. Let's play the Veteran. That's going to trigger the Lunarch Veteran. And why does the Breathless Knight not come up back? Whenever it or another creature you control enters, if that creature entered from a graveyard or you cast it from a graveyard. What, did I cast the front side of this and not the back side? The reason I have these guys instead of Sacred Cats is because I knew that exiling them from the graveyard creates a token that's a copy, so it's not actually entering from the graveyard, so I knew that the Sacred Cat wouldn't work. We also would have played the Stinkweed Imp if I knew I was only getting one of these. Okay, they play the Avenging Hunter, and they have a second Avenging Hunter. Okay, which lets them forge right now. We're going to chump block the Chrysalis with the Familiar. No, they're going to scry, actually. Fair enough. They only have 1 card in hand, and it's a Forest. Chump with the Familiar. We can dredge another Stinkweed Imp. I kind of want to draw... If I draw a Black Source untapped, although I guess I only have 1 of those, I could double cast down. I could also get a Prismatic Strands. That could be pretty good, actually. Sure, let's dredge. No Prismatic. Another Cauldron Familiar, but nothing else. That's not great. I guess we can just get our second Black Source by taking the initiative, right? We get a Swamp out of that, so we can swamp, cast down both of these, and chump this for a turn with the Lunarch Veteran. That seems okay. They can still take it back with the Arbor Elf if they swing with that. We do have our Swamp. Luckily, we didn't mill it. So we'll play that, and yeah, I can play a Stinkweed, but that's all I can do, and then I take a ton of damage. So let's leave up double cast down. They play their Forest and happen to top deck a Boarding Party, because why wouldn't they? To a Utopia Sprawl. Well, I'm going to kill both of the Tramplers, since those are the scariest, because I have a lot of chump blockers in the deck. And I guess I'll block 6 here. Yeah, block 6, take 7. They do get the initiative back, and I'll gain a life. Drew a Forest. I can play a Stinkweed Imp and a Lunarch Veteran. I think that's probably right. I can also get the initiative and forge. So if I play the Lunarch Veteran first, I can make it a 3/3 to block the Boarding Party, and then my Stinkweed can block this guy. That seems okay. Lunarch Veteran. Then I'll play a Stinkweed Imp. I didn't need to play the Stinkweed Imp right here, but I needed to play this guy pre-combat so that I could buff it up, so that they'll trade, because they'll be able to get in with the Arbor Elf. But if I can trade for both of these big guys, then I'm in a pretty good spot. Forge onto the Luminous Phantom. They're going to swing with the team. Let's block those 2. We'll gain 3 life. We'll have our Death Touch go off with the Stinkweed. They'll take back the initiative. They do get a 4/1 Menace, which is going to be hard to prevent from getting in again. And a Repurposer. I could dredge the Stinkweed Imp. Even if I get a Prismatic Strands, I'm not going to have a white creature to leave back to prevent combat damage. Plus, they have 3 different colors of creatures, so I don't think I really need to Stinkweed. I guess I could get a Luminous Phantom, another one. I can't double Stinkweed here. I'm going to not do it this turn. See if I draw something good. Revive the Shire is not bad. Gets me back any permanent. I guess Cast Sound's kind of what I want here. It gets me a food, though, which means I can Cauldron Familiar and Breathless Knight. So Cauldron Familiar, Breathless Knight, I can play a Stinkweed Imp. That's 3 blockers, so that means I can block a couple of these guys. I don't think I can keep them from going to the throne, because I have to take it back with this. We're going to go to the trap. We'll swing. Take the initiative again. We're going to trap them. They go to 10. We will revive the Shire and get back. I could do a Satyr Wayfinder. It's either that, a Cauldron Familiar, which I don't need. I just need more food. or a land. Land's not bad. Actually, if I get this Breathless Knight back and I get a Basilisk Gate, then next turn I can suit it up for lethal, I think. So yeah, let's get back Basilisk Gate. We get that back. Let's play a Dragon Gate. Black, white, I suppose. Play a Stinkweed Imp, and I can instant speed 2 more blockers. They draw a land. That's pretty good for us. So they're going to go into the Throne of the Dead 3, but that's going to give them 1 big creature. If it's an Avenging Hunter or an Altasaur, it's going to get Trample, but a Stinkweed Imp is going to be able to just trade with it. They're only swinging with these 2. Okay. That means I can block them both. Return this familiar, trigger, get back whenever it or another creature you control enters. If that creature entered from a graveyard or you cast it from a graveyard. Put a +1/+1 counter on Breathless Knight. Why did I think this returned as well? I'm so dumb. I thought this, if you reanimated something else, this reanimated. Why am I not reading these cards? Okay, so I can only kill one of these. Breathless Knight seems like a waste in here, I guess, then. Might as well kill the bigger one. No, but then I lose both my guys. I mean, if I just take it, I can still suit up one of these for +8/+8. I already have a Stinkweed there. I guess I'll block here. Okay, look. I'm silly, and I did not read Breathless Knight properly. Slash, I always thought it did something different. They get an Altasaur if they want it. I think that's the biggest creature they get. And it's got reach, which is not great. So Breathless Knight should probably just be replaced by like a cat or something that does come back. We can dredge a Stinkweed Imp, sure. We get a Prismatic Strands, but we'd have to leave back this guy, and we don't really want to do that because that's our only attacker. We can give it +8/+8, but that's if we put all our mana into it, it'll just trade with this Altasaur. But we really need that initiative. I guess we're gonna just play a Stinkweed Imp. They get another land and swing with their team. I'm gonna block the Altasaur with this Stinkweed Imp. I would trample for 7, and that'd be 11. So I think I just want to keep this Stinkweed Imp alive. So I'm gonna Prismatic Strands for green here, just to keep my Stinkweed Imp, which is fine, not super relevant, but also to absorb 7 damage. That seems good for us. They have a Generous Ant. That's the exact card I was afraid of, because that means that they have life gain, so I don't actually have lethal off of one of these guys, and they have a Reacher. Should I dredge another Stinkweed Imp? Sure. Stinkweed Imps do seem pretty good here. We get another Lunarch Veteran, as well as a Breathless Knight. That definitely does what we think it does. A Cauldron Familiar too. Okay. So play another Stinkweed Imp and give +4/+4 to this one, I think. Attack for 5. Becomes a 5/6. I could do it again, but that uses all our mana, and I'd prefer to get down a Stinkweed Imp. Another one. Then we can buff up 2 separate ones next turn. I wish we had just one more land, because we weren't able to cast this Eviscerator's Insight from grave last turn, which would have been nice. Hit for 5. We get the initiative. Draw a card. See what we get. Dredge another Stinkweed. We're going to pass this time. We draw a Manor Gate. Okay, I can live with that. Play the Stinkweed. Play a Manor Gate. They crack their food. They're going to swing with the team to take the initiative back. We're going to block the Generous Ant with the Stinkweed. And the Arbor Elf with our Cauldron Familiar will take 4. We gain some life, they get the initiative, they get to Forge. If they can initiative again, they can trap us, put us to 1. But that means they have an Avenging Hunter and no blocker, so we can kill them. They have another Generous Ant, that's pretty bad, there it is. So dredge another Stinkweed Imp. That means we could block both of these guys. If I suit this up, they're at 10, a virtual 10 again. I can't get a Stinkweed. I don't think that's going to work. Black Dragon Gate. Yeah, I can double... Well, actually, I can use 6 mana, double suit up the Stinkweed. That's enough. They're going to have to block. I can Lunarch Veteran, have 2 blockers for this, so I won't die. Okay, Stinkweed Imp, +5/+5. I should probably play this Black Dragon Gate first, seeing as it gives a bigger buff. +12/+12. Attack with the Stinkweed. They have to block with the Ent, and we'll get a Lunarch Veteran to have blockers for the skeleton. They're going to crack their food on the end step. Trap us down to 3. Swing. We're going to block. Don't kill the skeleton, but we do survive, so that's a plus. And gain a couple life. They pass. We could get another Stinkweed. It doesn't really do enough because it's only 1 blocker. Many Partings makes a food. That makes it so we don't die. But let's try to suit up this Stinkweed and see if it can hit for lethal. Attack for a bunch, and we got there. All right, that was a long first game, but we were able to get there in the end. So what do we want here? We want Arms of Hadar, doesn't really kill enough of their stuff. Thraben Charm is nice removal if we have enough creatures. Graveyard and enchantment stuff doesn't matter too much. We don't have any land hate. We don't have any small creatures hate. We don't have any big creatures hate. So we don't really have a sideboard here. Thraben Charm is the only thing we could bring in. Prismatic's not amazing, but I still think it's okay. Suffocating Fumes, probably worse than a Thraben Charm. Breathless Night is still a good creature. I just may have not read it properly. I think just that. Suffocating can kill some Arbor Elves, but only on turn 3, and by then the Arbor Elves have already done some serious damage. All right, here we have 1 colorless land. All right, here we have 2 lands, probably just been a Stinkweed Imp since we don't really need more than 1. They have the turn 1 Arbor Elf. We're not going to be able to kill that yet. Many Partings. So let's play a Manor Gate on black. They have just a repurposer, not as bad as it could be. Stinkweed Imp, we're going to many partings for, this is going to be black, white, and this is black-green, so I guess another green. So we already have 2 black. That is if these don't get destroyed. This is a good match for Stinkweed Imp, I will say. Hard to block for them, death touches any of their creatures and just keeps coming back. They're going to cycle an Oliphant with their Eldrazi spawn on the end step, that's interesting. Get a Wooded Ridgeline and swing for 4. Get another cast down, that's great. We're just gonna slam a Stinkweed Imp here, start getting blockers down. If they trade, we'll start milling, which is pretty good for us too. Although we do need to hit more land drops, so I might skip 1 dredge since we already have a Stinkweed Imp in hand, just to try to hit a land. But I will trade this Stinkweed for this repurposer. It does give them a little more mana, which is annoying, but we can just hopefully cast down whatever it is they play off of it. Avenging Hunter is a pretty annoying one. I do want to hit that land so that we can like cast down twice. Yeah, we're just gonna let it go this time. Get a Cauldron Familiar, that's fine. We will play another one. Pass. We're gonna decline to block the Hunter this turn so that we can hopefully take the initiative. They're gonna grow their Arbor Elf, interesting. They're gonna go on the offensive here. Yeah, I think I just gotta take it. We don't have to be lucky to draw our land, actually. As long as they don't have reach here. Please no Chrysalis. All right, there's the Chrysalis. Well, we can cast that down, hit them, take the initiative, get another land, and then cast down another creature. So sure, let's dredge the Stinkweed this turn. Lunarch and a Cauldron Familiar, that can come back. Let's cast down the Chrysalis, attack for 1 in the air, get our land. We'll just get a Plains in case they blow something up. We'll have access to all our colors. I will pass. So we have instant speed cast down for the Avenging Hunter, and we can get the Cauldron Familiar back for our food to block the Arbor Elf. So if they don't have any haste here comes the boarding party, probably. Wild Growth first, yep, and then they're gonna boarding party. Not a party, a Nyxborn Hydra on their spawn to give it +2/+2. Okay, they are gonna be able to take the initiative then. I'm gonna cast down the Hunter. I guess I'm almost gonna die here because I get trapped, but not quite. Bring back the Cauldron Familiar, drain them for 1, chump the Arbor Elf, and we go to 2 off of this. Revive the Shire is not bad. I can revive a Carrot Cake. That's a 1/1, and then Cauldron Familiar can be a 1/1. Need 1 more to be able to block this, though. This can already get me a Cauldron Familiar. I could just play Stinkweed Imp, which blocks this, and Cauldron Familiar, which blocks this. I don't have an untapped land in my grave, otherwise I might use that for this. I also have Forge, so I can make a bigger guy. Yeah, let's just play Cauldron here, gain a life, play a Stinkweed Imp, attack with the Stinkweed Imp, and get the initiative, grow this Familiar, I think. Then it can eat this, and I can trade this here. Can also trade with a boarding party if they have that. Hopefully they don't have another Nyxborn Hydra. That would be pretty bad, / lethal. Oh, look at that. They have the Hydra. Oh, they put it on that guy. It's not quite lethal then, actually. They still can get in, but this is only 2. So we can block here. No, because this is going to trample over this one. So we have to block this here. We have to block this here. Which means this Familiar doesn't even trade for this, so that's pretty annoying, but this is the only way we survive. Destroy the Arbor Elf. They get the initiative into Archives and draw a card. These both have trample, so our cat doesn't do much now. We can get back a Stinkweed Imp, but what good does that do? Nothing really. We're gonna not do that. We get a Basilisk Gate. This doesn't have lifelink though, so we can take the initiative and trap them, but we need 5 toughness. Revive the Shire can get a Cauldron Familiar and a Carrot Cake, which could be 2 rabbits and 2 Cauldron Familiars. I don't think I can keep the initiative. I can still survive a turn. Sure, play a Basilisk, revive the Shire on the Carrot Cake, play the Carrot Cake, which makes a 1/1 now and when you sacrifice it. We have a Rumble on top. That seems okay. No, we'll just get rid of that. We will swing with the Stinkweed, because we have to try taking the initiative here, and we succeed. We will trap them and pass, and then we can double Cauldron Familiar. With the carrot cake and the food, we'll get 4 1/1s, so we can quad block this. They have a breath weapon. Okay, that's not great. We still get 2 Cauldron Familiar, gain 2, and Cauldron Familiar this carrot cake. Take a 1/1 and scry. Prismatic, we'll leave that on top. No, these are all colorless guys. God, that's annoying. Oh, and if these die, they just get the Hydras, so that's pretty pretty rich too. So if I block everything, I survive, and I do kill these guys. Oh, so I should have kept the Prismatic, because they're about to both turn into green creatures. That was a mistake. I'm trying to play fast because I am down on clock. But we will trade and go to 1 here, and they get to go into the throne of the dead 3. I can revive the Shire for the carrot cake again and do the exact same thing, which is kind of cool. But whatever they get off of this is going to be enormous. It's just a repurposer. They're going to rumble, though, and that gets them a hunter or a boarding party. Probably a party. Nope, they chose the hunter. Dredge a Stinkweed Imp. We'll say no. Cast down, we can shoot this, revive this, and I think we're dead. If we'd taken that Prismatic Strands, maybe we would have been okay for a turn, but still not great. I guess we could have Prismatic for all the Hydras, and we could have revived the Shire for a carrot cake. The Cauldron Familiar would have chumped the one guy. But they were going to play another hunter, which means they'd go to the initiative. They were going to get to the trap the following turn. We were in a rough spot for sure. We have about 5 minutes. Let's make it quick. This one's a mulligan. This one's acceptable. We'll keep and get rid of a Breathless. Play a Citadel Gate on black and pass. I could kill this Arbor Elf. Let me think about it here. I think I want to just start playing big guys though, so everything costs 3, unfortunately here. So I think I'm just going to start playing Breathless Knights and then potentially gating them up. They're going to play a Repurposer. And then a Relic of Progenitus. Okay, we're going to play a Breathless Knight. The Relic is going to be pretty annoying here. But then again, if we just start playing flyers, maybe it's not that big of a deal. Cast down, I'm going to use probably just on Reachers. They have another Repurposer, but no land maybe? They hit for 3, a little harder than us, but we have lifelink. Yeah, there's a Citadel Gate. Play another Breathless Knight and attack for 2. We draw another land and we can cast down and Basilisk Gate. That'd be really good. They rumble, probably for a land here. They do hit a mountain if they want it, or just a wild growth. They choose the mountain into a Chrysalis, so I'm gonna have to cast that down. If I don't draw a land, I'll have to Lunarch Veteran as well, instead of gating up or anything. Another Lunarch Veteran, okay. Well, we're going to cast down the Chrysalis, play a Lunarch Veteran, play another Lunarch Veteran to gain some life, attack for 4 lifelink to gain some life as well. And now we can start making these guys big. They relic our cast down. Why do I need to confirm that I want to get rid of that card? It's not that big of a deal, guys. Come on. Don't think it used to do that. Another Arbor Elf for them. They're going to swing for 6. I will take it. And pass. We get a Black Dragon Gate. We're going to play that. And Basilisk Gate up this Breathless Knight. Hope they don't have a Breath Weapon here. Nice. They did. It would hit a lot of their guys, but still, it would be pretty good. We're going to hit for 9 lifelink. They're down to 5. Hey, the Breathless Knight actually does well when you use it the way it's supposed to. You don't even need the extra text. It's just a flying lifelink guy. And that's pretty good. They have an Altasaur. That's a little annoying. And an Avenging Hunter. Okay. They're going to have to chump the guy that I buff up with the Altasaur so that the other one can get in for damage. Stinkweed Imp. So we're going to buff up a Breathless Knight, attack with both. We're going to get to take the initiative here, I believe, which will give us a land so we can play a Stinkweed Imp. Plus we hit for 2, go up to 30. We'll get a Swamp, play a Stinkweed Imp, and gain 2 life off the veterans too. This is how Cawgates works. They're going to crack the Relic to draw a card, Wild Growth on their forest, cast another Annoyed Altasaur, 1 time, no Generous End, goes into an Arbor Elf, okay. So that's 1 blocker, but we have 2 other guys that can't be blocked. And that would be lethal if they don't have a Breath Weapon or anything here, which I think they're tapped out of Breath Weapon now. We got there on match 1. Pretty nice. It was a close match. Very lucky that they didn't see enough land destruction, because we saw the 1, so they clearly were on it, but we only saw 1 game 1, and then otherwise we didn't really see any, which was pretty nice. So pretty fun match, I will admit. Start on the play. We have just 1 colorless land again, so we're going to mulligan. Here we have 2 gates. Basilisk variety, Black Dragon. Double Basilisk Gate is a little rough, because that means we can't play this Breathless Knight, but we do have Lunarch Veteran, double Stinkweed Imp. I mean, if we're against another opponent where Stinkweed is really good, this could be nice, but if we're against anyone else, it's tough. We're on a Mulda 6. I think we got to keep it, and we'll probably get rid of this Breathless Knight since we can't use it yet. It's so good, though. Maybe we just get rid of one of the Stinkweed Imps and hope we get a second land that taps for white or black. I think that might be better, actually. We don't need 2 Stinkweed Imps, probably. So we'll keep it and get rid of one of them. Play a Black Dragon Gate on white. They have a Conduit Pylons, and then cycle a Generous End response. So that looks like Dredge to me. So we are also Dredge, interestingly. We'll play a Basilisk Gate and a Lunarch Veteran. We do have 3 or 4 Thraben Charms in the sideboard, so hopefully the games 2 and 3 will have a good shot. Not super confident in game 1, just because, I mean, if we gain a lot of life, if we can get a Breathless Knight down and just start gaining life, actually we'll be in a pretty good spot. We just really need to hit that land this turn. They have a Blanchwood Prowler, mill 3 creatures, good for them. Cast down doesn't do much here, so I guess we're just going to play our own Stinkweed Imp. Show them we mean business. Gain a life and pass. They're going to swing. Do I want to trade the Stinkweed Imp? I mill. It doesn't really help us get anywhere. I think we just keep it for now. Worst case scenario, I might like start buffing these guys up and attacking already. They have a Satyr Wayfinder, mill, a Stinkweed Imp, 2 Scrapwork Mutts, and a Forest. Pretty good for them. Another Breathless Knight. We have a lot of lands in this deck and a lot of ways to find lands and things. Sure, I guess we're just beefing up this Veteran and attacking for 5. They're gonna cycle a Troll. We have 20 lands in the deck, right? So that's a good number of lands. But then we also have 2 or 3 Many Partings, 4 Satyr Wayfinders, and no, 3 Satyr Wayfinders and 4 Malevolent Rumbles. So that's like 9 additional ways to find lands. And I guess none of those green ways actually works right now because we don't have a green source. They're gonna Dredge, and they get another Stinkweed Imp. Yeah, well right now they're showing that they're the better Dredge deck, but it's also partially because we're screwed on lands. So I can take some pride knowing that we're only losing because our deck sucks. Unearth the Scrapwork, ditch the Stinkweed, and get it back. They just milled all their Exhumes, but that's not that big of a deal. They'll attack for 5. There's our Swamp. Okay. Let's see if it's not too late. We'll attack for 2. I should maybe just leave those guys back because I'm just making it easier on them for Dredge guy, for the Lotless Giant. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And they just got a Giant and a Dread Return. And they're about to have 3 more creatures, so they can just go for it right now, and we die. Bring in all the Thraben Charms. Nothing else really does much. I mean, we could Arms of Hadar, but that doesn't seem that great. Prismatic Strands is good, because it can prevent that damage. Suffocating Fumes is okay, but it doesn't really do that much. I guess Cast Down doesn't really do anything, does it? There's nothing we want to kill. So those are actually, like, Suffocating Fumes, maybe we actually do want to kill 2 or 3 creatures to prevent them from Dread returning, or maybe they just attack with a bunch, but we don't want to just cast down one thing, so those actually suck. Does Standard Bearer do anything? No. Not unless they have to target Standard Bearer with a Lotless Giant. Maybe. Could be cool. On the play, we get 2 lands, Cauldron. This looks pretty good, actually. Manor Gate on white, because we're going to want to play this Veteran first to start gaining life, and then start playing these guys. We're going to Conduit Pylons, cycle a Troll again. It was an Ent last time, but same dealio. Get a Haunted Mire and leave the card on top. Interesting. Get a Malevolent Rumble. We're going to Black Dragon Gate and name white. And then we'll play a Lunarch Veteran and try to start gaining some life. Which, I mean, currently 5 of our cards will gain us life. Basilisk Gate's a great draw. That lets us play Breathless Knight, which I think is the best one to get down first. Gain a life off the Veteran and pass. Cycle a Generous End, they get a Forest, and play a Blanchwood Prowler. Bin a Lotless Giant and a Rubble Belt Maverick. Get back a Forest. Another Veteran. Kind of want to suit this up, but we are not hitting our land drop, so I think I'm actually going to go for the Rumble, because I'd really like to hit that land. And then maybe I should play a Veteran first. I'm going to get a creature off this Rumble. Sure. Let's play Veteran. Gain a life, play a Rumble, get this Plains. Yeah, Satyr Wayfinder finds a land, but I'd rather just get the Plains this turn. Gain 2 more life, play a Plains, and attack with the Breathless Knight. Up to 26, that's going to make their Giant kill a little bit harder. They're going to Dread Return a Generous Ent right here. Okay, fair enough. Get a blocker for the Knight. We're going to need to keep getting gates. Prismatic Strands is a good draw. in general. Not amazing here, but we're just gonna play a bunch of creatures. Play a Carrot Cake, gets a guy, another Prismatic Strands. I actually don't think I need 2, so let's just get rid of that. And play a Cauldron Familiar, gain 3. Yeah, I can stack Carrot Cake to gain 3 and then 2 more at any time. We just need to keep finding lands. We need 2 more gates, and this knight can suddenly start getting past the end. Actually, we only need 1 more gate, and it can start attacking to at least gain us life. It'll just be a 6/6, so they'll bounce off. But the gaining life is still really good. They have a Bajuka Bog. That's totally fine at this point. It would have hurt a lot more later, but I get that they just gotta hit their land drops. Oh, well, they want to go for the Exhume right now. Okay, fair enough. And they're probably just getting a troll. Yeah. Another gate. It's pretty good. Let's play a Citadel Gate on black. Start Basilisk gating. This, can they have something that would deal a damage or buff this? I don't think so, really. I think it's pretty safe to just do this. An attack for 6. Just to gain 6. And then they could have some sort of sweeper, so maybe playing this familiar is not great, although we have 1 food to reanimate one of these guys, but we're just gonna do it. I'm not really sure what sweepers they would have. They're not gonna have any in the main deck unless they're playing something weird off meta, and I don't usually see anything in the sideboard either. They're gonna crack their food. Conduit Pylons. I could crack my Carrot Cake in my upkeep in order to scry. Try to hit our land drop. They're gonna swing at their troll. I could block with 5 1/1s. That feels a little overkill. When I'm gaining 6 at a turn right now, it's not a big deal. But I think I will scry on my upkeep, so let's just take 6. Crack a Carrot Cake. To scry 1, we don't want another familiar, so I'm pretty happy I did that. We don't even have the food to support the ones we have, and it's just a 1/1. Draw a Stinkweed Imp, that's not bad. So I could buff up the Breathless Knight, but getting a Stinkweed actually allows us to start dredging and also like block this more effectively. So let's just play that. For these draws, this is when we really need something to buff our team. We could do like you meet in a tavern if we have enough creatures in the deck, because a +2/+2 would go a long way here. Maybe a Rally the Peasants. Splash for the red, and if it gets milled, it's not a big deal. They're just going to concede. Yeah, we have way too much life for them. All right, so we just need that. They're willing, clearly, to just concede if we gain too much life, and the Stinkweed was going to be pretty good, so we don't even need to kill them if we can just gain a lot of life. So let's get another draw like that. All right, this one looks okay, but we're going to keep it for sure. We have that Breathless Knight. Carrot Cakes gains us a lot. They have a Swamp and Pass. Another Carrot Cake, not really where we want to be. We're going to play the Black Dragon Gate on white and pass. Maybe we should do it on green in case we draw many partings. We have a Swamp and a Scrapwork Mutt. In a Dread Return. Malevolent Rumble, that's another reason to do that. We're going to get down the Manor Gate though. I'm not going to play anything here, but then I can get down a Breathless Knight next turn, which was just really good last time, and I think we want to do that again. So get that on black. Pass. If we're able to get in for 2 every turn, it'd be pretty good with lifelink. They're going to cycle a Generous Ant. I hope they don't Exhume here. Satyr Wayfinder, that's not as bad. 2 more Scrapworks, Conduit Pylons. Swing with the Scrapwork. Raven Charm's a good draw. Great draw, actually. So let's just throw down this Breathless Knight. Next turn, probably Rumble and hold up Charm, maybe? I think I need to. I don't want to blow the Charm too early, though. They have a Rebel Belt Maverick. So yeah, I don't want to blow it too early, but I kind of want to start holding it up for when they, if they're able to get like a lot of cards in the grave real quick and they go for an Exhume or a Dread Return. Play the Conduit Pylons. Unearth the Scrapwork Mutt. Pitch a Stinkweed Imp. Yeah, that's a big board already. They have a Dread Return in the grave, so they might just use that here. Sack some of their small guys to get like a big troll or something. I think I would probably do that. Yep. That's exactly what they're going to do. Oh, they're going to get the Ant, actually, so that it can block the Breathless. That's fine. I can chump that a lot better. Citadel Gate. I'm going to Rumble so that I can leave up Raven Charm off of the spawn. We get a Basilisk Gate or Breathless Knight. I think we need to take the Basilisk Gate because we need to start suiting this guy up. If I play Basilisk, I can save this. We're going to go for the tap land. Can't swing this turn, so we'll pass. Interestingly, they saved the Satyr Wayfinder instead of the Scrapwork, which could attack past the Knight. I guess they want double Scrapwork, potentially. They're going to Rebel Belt Maverick, bin a Dread Return and a Generous Ent, cycle a Troll. They're running low on cards, so this Thraben Charm could definitely be pretty good for us. Set them back quite a bit. We know they have a Stinkweed Imp in hand, I think, that they've dredged. They're going to unearth a Scrapwork Mutt. So I could do it now, but if they Stinkweed Imp, then I get rid of the 5 from the Stinkweed Imp? Yeah, we'll just wait on that because by doing it now, I save 2 damage here. But by waiting, I can actually block 5 damage with this Eldrazi spawn. So I think that's a little better. Yeah, so they're going to swing here, and we're going to block and blow up the graveyard now. Get rid of 11 creatures in their graveyard, a bunch of Dread Returns, a bunch of other stuff. Grapwork Exiles. We get another Rumble. So here I can play Basilisk Gate, suit up this guy, and then Carrot Cake as a chump blocker. So I think that's what we want to do. Start gaining some life. Play the Carrot Cake now to scry, see what's on top. I do want to hit my land drops, but I already have 2 in hand, so I guess I'll get rid of that. Plus Rumble can gain me another if I really need. Basilisk Gate up the Breathless Knight to gain 6 and attack for 6. Back up to 18. Feeling a little better now that they have a clear graveyard and we're close to our starting. They're going to swing, and I think we just want to chump. I don't really see a reason to do anything else. We're going to have plenty of chump blockers between all these Carrot Cakes, and so we just want to keep our life total high. They have a Stinkweed Imp. That's pretty annoying. I guess we knew they had a Stinkweed Imp, obviously. Thraben Charm, we could use that to blow up the Stinkweed Imp. Can't get past it otherwise. But the Thraben Charm is probably better for the graveyard. Ugh. Well, we're going to start with a Rumble, see where we're at. They're going to crack a food. We also have a Stinkweed Imp or another Breathless Knight. Guess we're going to get our own, which can block their Generous Ent, and play that. Play a Citadel Gate, black, and I could just attack for 2, but then they just get to fill the graveyard. We don't want this to die until we can exile it right away. Cycle a Troll from them. Fails to find a Swamp card. Okay, but they can Dread Return it, sure. Pass the turn. Play a Carrot Cake. See a Stinkweed Imp. I don't think we need a second, so let's get rid of that. Play a Forest. I'm trying to think how we get out of this. I mean, we have to kill their Stinkweed Imp and then exile it. And then we need to continue having a Breathless Knight that'll be able to start attacking and gain us a bunch of life. Right now, that's pretty challenging. They're going to swing with the Troll and the Ent. I guess they can just reanimate whichever one I blow up here. I guess maybe I have to Thraben Charm that then. Because I'm going to cycle this Carrot Cake. Well, not cycle it, but scry 1 and make a 1/1 and gain 3. All that fun stuff. Make a 1/1. We have another gate on top. I do want to keep getting gates, but I just don't think that's what we need right now. So I can triple block the Troll. If they want to sack 3 of their current guys for it, it's fine. I guess Troll's the better one to kill, seeing as it's harder to block. Take 5 off the Generous Ent. I guess the spawn probably would have been better to keep around. This is not really a fast deck, which I guess I should anticipate from a gates deck. Trade for their Troll, and they pass to us. Sure, we'll cycle another Carrot Cake. Satyr Wayfinder, it seems okay. That can find us another Basilisk Gate, or I guess not a cast down. Still, I'll keep it. Oh, I guess we're dredging. Are we dredging off the Stinkweed Imp? I guess if we're dredging, we shouldn't keep the other thing, but yeah, we do want it because it kills a Generous Ent. All right, we'll just dredge. We get a Cauldron Familiar, play a Stinkweed Imp, play a Carrot Cake, which can be sacked to the Familiar, and they're going to concede? I mean, again, we did have a lot of life gain going, but I'm not confident we were going to win that one, but we did have a lot of stuff happening. We had the Thraben Charm in hand. Maybe they were just tired of it. All right, this one looks okay. We have 2 lands, but Heapgate's not really a colored source. Black Dragon Gate. If we go for green, Rumble can probably find us another land, which can hopefully be a white one. Yeah, I think we're going to keep it. It's not amazing, but we do have some powerful cards. Opponent plays an island, ponders. Okay, Mono Blue Terror is my first thought, since it's not a snow island. Usually snow island ponder means blue-red terror, control, scred, whatever, or maybe like a tireless tribe, but usually the like blue-black control decks run brainstorms and preordains over ponder, so we'll play a black Dragon Gate and we'll go for that green for the Rumble. Hope it resolves. They play an island and pass. Okay, well, we got another Rumble, so if we fail once, we can try again. They are going to counterspell. Seems a tad on the rude side, if I'm honest. They're going to play an island and pass to us. Didn't draw a land, so we kind of have to go for the Rumble, and they're just going to counter it again. Or I could cycle a Suffocating Fumes, which probably isn't going to do anything anyway, and has a better shot of giving us a land here. Yeah, we're going to try that, I guess. I just don't think this is going to resolve. Hey, we actually got it. I had 0 faith, if I'm honest. So that's our 3rd land and our white source. They're going to brainstorm. Stinkweed Imps are not bad in this matchup either, because they can block anything and trade for it. Plus, if they counter it, I can just bring it right back. So I think we might play that next turn. They brainstormed, but didn't have any tricks with it. Oh, well, maybe not no tricks. They have a Delver that they could flip next turn off of it, but they didn't Mental Note or Lorien or anything. If we don't draw a land, maybe we do go for another Rumble, though. They're going to boomerang our Dragon Gate. Okay, never mind, we drew a land. So we're going to hit our land drop. No big deal. Prismatic Strands is not bad in this match either. So we only have 2 mana. In that case, we could play a Lunarch Veteran, but that doesn't do that much. So we're going to Rumble. If they want to Spell Pierce, that's fine. They don't. I think we want to take this Manor Gate just so that we have for sure lands. Yeah, we don't really need this Satyr Wayfinder, so we'll take that. Play the Black Dragon Gate on white again, and pass. They're down to 3 cards in hand. We also binned an Eviscerator's Insight off that Malevolent Rumble, so that's pretty good. They don't flip the Delver, even though they had Brainstormed. Okay. Attack for 1. We'll take it. Play another island. They're going to Serpent. Carrot Cake. Okay, so I could play a Stinkweed Imp, which blocks great. It gets countered. I have a chump blocker, so it's not a big deal. Or I could just hold up a Prismatic Strands. And then if that gets countered, the following turn I can play Lunarch Veteran, which can also Prismatic Strands, and a Stinkweed Imp. That feels a little bit better. Plus, they have Counterspell mana up right now, so I'd rather use it on their turn. So we're going to Manor Gate for... So currently we have 1 white, 1 green. So yeah, let's go for another white. I could do it in their upkeep, but I'm not that worried. And they didn't draw a spell, or at least they didn't flip one off the Delver, so should be okay here. Swing with the team. Let's go for the Prismatic. Try to Fog. We get there. Okay, prevent all blue damage. I have another Delver. If those never flip, it's not a big deal, you know. So I think I'm going to play Lunarch Veteran, which can flashback Prismatic if we want it to, and then a Stinkweed Imp. And if they don't counter that, then they'll be able to block these all very favorably. Well, it'll trade, but I really don't mind trading. Gain a life off the Veteran. Stinkweed does resolve. Delver's still not flipping. They are still investigating that little Praying Mantis guy. Actually, I can't see what it is in this one. It's hard to tell. It's kind of... I think it's Praying Mantis in the OG art. Sleep of the Dead on the Stinkweed Imp. Okay, fair enough. I do like Sleep of the Dead. They're going to just swing with the Serpent. We're at 20 still. I'll just take 6, I think. I don't mind chump blocking, but I kind of like the creatures that I have right now. I want to chump block with like this Familiar. Another Serpent. And I'd like to save the Prismatic Strands for when there's more guys, or when I can kill some other guys. Another Citadel Gate's not bad. We do need to find a Basilisk Gate, but they only have 2 mana, so I kind of want to get down to Breathless Knight. They have the counterspell, that's fine. If not, and the Delvers still don't flip, then we'll have a way to start gaining some life on the Crackback. If they do flip and they attack, then we can Prismatic Strands and block with this to gain some life. They have the counterspell, fair enough. So we'll just go for a Cauldron Familiar here. Gain 2 life, ping them for 1, play a Citadel Gate, and pass the turn. So we might Prismatic Strands here, so that we don't take 12. They're just gonna swing to start with the 2 Serpents. Gonna block, take 6. Don't want to die to an Artful Dodge, but I can definitely get a food here, get another Cauldron Familiar, and we have a Prismatic Strand. So yeah, I think we're just gonna chump one of them here. I just want to save this for, I might need a lot of mana in a certain turn, especially if I get a Basilisk Gate. They played an island. Okay, showing us they have nothing, plus they didn't sleep this guy. I guess they can sleep him next turn. So that's great for us. Let's play a forest, play a Carrot Cake, Basilisk Gate on top. Absolutely perfect. Spectacular. Play a Breathless Knight and pass the turn. Yeah, so they can sleep the Stinkweed and or the Breathless Knight. No, they only have enough to do it once in the graveyard, so they have to choose. They do finally flip their Delvers after 10,000 years in the Cave of Wonders. So they got a Mental Note. They're going to probably cast that. Brainstorm. Okay, they could definitely find some good interaction here. They're not going to even try to attack. Deep Analysis. Yeah, they didn't have any interaction for the Prismatic Strands. Deep Analysis, that means no Sleep of the Dead too, so we definitely get to, unless they have something for 1, we're going to get to Breathless Knight, suit that up, hit for like 8, and gain a bunch of life. I also have a Revive the Shire, if I want to pick something up with that. I can get another Breathless Knight, that's not bad. Or I could just get like a Satyr Wayfinder. That just finds a land though, so that seems worse. Play a Basilisk Gate, and give this Breathless Knight a boost. Attack for 8. I think we want to Revive the Shire, bring back the other Breathless Knight, so that if they Sleep of the Dead 1, I have another one, and they're going to have to sleep them both. Gain 8 back to 20. So let's revive the Breathless Knight. To play it this turn, I would need to sack the Spawn. I think that's fine. I think it's time to cash it in. So let's do that. We still have Prismatic Strands up. We have Cauldron Familiar for Carrot Cake from the grave. And next turn, if we don't draw much, we can Eviscerator's Insight, a food, to draw 2 cards. So we got some real value out of the grave. They have a Deep Analysis. as well from their graveyard. Down to 8 though. That means my Breathless Knights are going to start being lethal. They're going to brainstorm. Mental Note. Been another deep analysis. This just makes it so hard for them to attack. I have a Stinkweed Imp if they only attack with one thing. I have a Prismatic Strands if they attack with a bunch. They play another Serpent, another Carrot Cake. Well, I think we're gonna beef up a Breathless Knight. See if they have a Boomerang or anything for it. And if not, they're gonna have to lose a Delver. They do have the Boomerang, fair enough. Goes back to hand. I wish I had more lands. I could play the Breathless Knight, but that's all I can do. I think it's worth just getting the Breathless Knight down again, though. Gain another life off the Veteran. They have a Murmuring Mystic. That's pretty bad. They have this Graveyard with Deep Analysis and Sleep of the Dead. Well, that's chump blockers for these guys. We do need to find... We haven't seen a cast down all game. About time we find one. We could set an upkeep stop for this Carrot Cake, but I might just want an Eviscerator's Insight to draw to. I think that might be a little better. I could just bring back the Familiar on the end step with the Carrot Cake. That might be a little better. Oh, they're gonna swing with everything. Okay, if they're doing that, I'm assuming they have a counter spell for this Prismatic Strands. First order of business is bring back the Cauldron Familiar off this Carrot Cake, make 2 more blockers. Let's scry 1. Another Breathless Knight is good, but we really need to remove this Murmuring Mystic. So I think we're gonna put that on the bottom. Gain some more life. Cauldron Familiar grows our current Breathless Knights, because we definitely know how this works, right? And then, so we're gonna Stinkweed a Cryptic Serpent. We have 2 3/3s. If we Prismatic Strands and they counter it, our things are still gonna die, and that's what I'm expecting. So Cauldron Familiar, we definitely like to die here. We could just take 12. We don't need to go overboard. Yeah, that seems better actually, because I don't want to lose my Breathless Knights. Yeah, we don't even need to use the Prismatic Strands here, do we? I guess if we do, we keep this alive, and that's an extra blocker. That's an extra flyer, which means next turn we can buff this up. They have to block that with a dude. I feel like if we're gonna go for the Prismatic, we kind of want to like block with the Breathless Knights, because then we gain life and kill their guys. But if they counterspell, it's super bad. Let's just do this block and no Prismatic. Save it for a future turn. Stinkweed Imp dies. Gonna kill their Serpent. Ooh, they're gonna flashback a Deep Analysis. Go to 4. Well, we might just be able to kill them with a go-wide strategy. Consider, like, they can make a few birds here, but we can bring back our Familiar, which puts them to 3. Then both our Breathless Knights are lethal, so they have to chump those. And then we have 4 1/1s, so if they can cast another spell here, that's not going to be lethal. They put the card on top, so they probably have something. Oh, it's a Serpent. Well, end step, we're going to Cauldron Familiar back, trigger everything. Oh, grow our Breathless Knights again. It's finally working. I knew we put these together for a reason. So we have a bunch of lifelink. Bring back Stinkweed Imp. Yeah, I don't see a reason not to. We mill some stuff. If we attack with everything, they block, 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 block. They go to 1. We don't have a way to sack the Familiar. Oh, but we can buff our Veteran, so they have to chump that as well. So I don't quite see lethal here, but it's still pretty good. Let's buff up our Veteran, attack with the squad. They can either save their Serpent or their Mystic here. Probably the Mystic is better because it makes chump blockers. I don't actually know getting the Stinkweed Imp was the right play here, but we can play Carrot Cake, which lets us hold up Prismatic Strands, and we can crack it, which is 2 chump blockers as well, even if they have the counterspell. Yep, they're losing the Serpent. Go to damage, we gain another 8. They're down to 1. We're just gonna Carrot Cake, scry 1. Many Partings is a food. We don't really care about that, so we'll put that on the bottom and pass. And we don't actually have any like sack outlets except for this Eviscerator's Insight. Oh, in the deck. So I was gonna say we don't have a way to get Cauldron Familiar in the grave to hit them for the 1, but we do with the Eviscerator's Insight. So next turn we can just sack the Familiar, bring it back with the Carrot Cake, and that should just be lethal, because they shouldn't be able to... They can counter the Eviscerators, but they can't counter the sack, and they can't counter the return to the battlefield. That should be lethal there. They cast a Lorien Revealed into a Terror, by the way. Get a bird. Probably going to swing with the team. Yeah, I guess they got to leave back blockers. They're going to swing with just 1 Serpent. We're going to take, though. Down to 18. We're not going to crack the Carrot Cake because we need to save that for the Familiar. And they're mono blue, so I shouldn't be worried about graveyard hate. At least not yet. They have a Sleep of the Dead for a Breathless Knight. That's fine. Does not really matter. Pass the turn. Many Partings. We got that anyway, even though I think we put that on the bottom. But yeah, we're just going to go for the Eviscerator's Insight, sacking the Cauldron Familiar, bring back the Cauldron Familiar, Citadel Gate on top, sure. Well, we get a bunch of triggers, but let's try to get the Cauldron Familiar one to go off first. Boom! Got the first game there. Pretty sick, honestly. They are blue. We do get the Thraben Charms to try to blow up the graveyard. Nothing else is very good. Cast downs, we didn't see any that game. Luckily, we were still able to win the game, but Would definitely love to get some of them. Suffocating Fumes is good against the Murmuring, but that's it. Prismatic Strands was fantastic. Did really well that one time, and even though we didn't cast the second one, the threat of it was very powerful. Stinkweed Imps are great. Carrot Cake did really well. Pretty happy with everything. That did make me think maybe I need a couple more Eviscerator's Insights. I already kind of wanted to fit more in, but the deck was just really tight. But having a couple more to be able to sack the Familiar at instant speed would be really nice. To get more triggers, untap it, etc. I think we just got to cut like one of a couple cards. We'll get rid of a Satyr Wayfinder, maybe a Many Partings, and revive the Shire. Thraben Charm's gonna be pretty good here, and we got some decent lands, so we're gonna keep this one. Hope we don't get boomeranged. Opponent mulls to 5. Island Pass. Gate's pretty good. The Basilisk variety. We're gonna play this on white. Probably just play the Cauldron Familiar next turn, get down another tap land. Stinkweed Imp's not bad either. Play a Manor Gate on white. Pass. They're gonna miss their 3rd land drop here, and we're gonna swing for 1. I think we're just playing a Stinkweed Imp off this Basilisk Gate. We don't have like a great way to go fast here and try to finish them, seeing as they're missing lands and stuff, but the best way would be keep playing creatures, keep playing gates, and then start Basilisk Gating. They're going to counterspell the Stinkweed Imp. That's fine. We might very well just bring that back. They got a Brainstorm. Let's see if they can get out of this no lands scenario. They did find a Mental Note. Mill 2 more spells. No lands for them, but they're already at 5 spells engraved, so I might have to Thraben Charm that right now. Do I want to get back the Stinkweed Imp? Why not? Mill a Lunarch Veteran and a Prismatic Strands. Those are pretty good. I mean, this makes Cryptic Serpents come down. We have 2 Thraben Charms too, so I don't even need to like worry that much about sandbagging them. So I'm gonna play a Carrot Cake and a Thraben Charm. Scry a Cast Down. We're gonna keep that on top for when they do actually get some creatures. We're going to exile their graveyard. Then we're gonna attack for 1. They have another Brainstorm and a Delver of Secrets. Still no land, but they're probably going to be able to flip that Delver, which is pretty good. I could cast it down right now, or I could just start gating up. I'm going to play a Black Dragon Gate. I think we're going to cast this down. We can blow up their graveyard again when they get close, so we can already kind of stave off the Terrors and the Serpents of all kinds for a while. So I think we do just want to cast this down and get this Lunarch Veteran, swing for 2. Now we can start gating and still playing a 2-drop. They have another Delver, another Carrot Cake. Well, we're going to go for the Basilisk Gate on the Cauldron Familiar. Actually, in case they have a Spell Pierce, let's play, if I want to play a Carrot Cake, I should play it now. Do I care about playing it? I could just sack the one I have, but I guess I want to keep them on the field for the Cauldron Familiar. So yeah, let's play a Carrot Cake now, in case they have a Spell Pierce. They don't. Black Dragon Gate, I mean, we're going to keep hitting our land drops. And we will suit up the Rabbit token, I guess, since that's the one I'd like to die less. Attack for 7. They can trade only with the Cauldron Familiar, or they could chump the Rabbit, but they take it. They do flip the Delver off Asleep of the Dead. That can help a little bit, although all our guys are 1/1s and we're just making them scary on our turn. They're going to swing with the Aberration. I'm going to take 3. Don't think I need to Prismatic that. Going to play a Black Dragon Gate on white. Basilisk Gate up a Rabbit. It might get boomeranged. Maybe I should do it on the Cauldron Familiar in this case, since Boomerang is their main way to survive here. Yeah, should have gone for the Familiar, but that's okay. Hit for 3, and I think we're just going to leave up a Carrot Cake to crack as another 1/1. If they fill their grave fast enough, maybe we Thraben Charm. They're going to pass. Yeah, let's crack a Carrot Cake. Scry a Stinkweed. I don't think I want that. Might as well draw something else. Many Partings. Sure. Let's Basilisk Gate up the Familiar this time. If they want to bounce it, at least I'll get a trigger off of it. Attack with the team. They do go for the Boomerang. I'll gain 1. And I think I'll blow up this Aberration to keep our creatures around. That also puts them to 2. Cauldron Familiar puts them to 1. And they're just pretty dead there. So let's do that with 2 white here. Hit for 3. We get to play Many Partings to find our swamp. Play that, play a Cauldron Familiar, put them to 1, and it pass. Now they have to have a way to prevent all this damage, and if they have to kill a Familiar for it, I can bring it back, hit for the 1. All right, got a nice 2-0 against Terror. All right, here we have 4 land, Familiar, Breathless, Revive. It seems all right. We need a little interaction, but I like hitting our land drops. If they kill one of our guys, we can revive it. We got 3 gates here. We're gonna Black Dragon and start with green, I guess, since we already have a white source here. They're on Plains Pass. It could just be mono white Weenies. Looks like it. No 1-drop's pretty good for us, But Rafine's Informant, okay. Life gain's gonna be pretty good here to keep us afloat. They've been a Battle Screech. We draw a Citadel Gate. We're going to just play a Cauldron Familiar and the Citadel Gate and pass. Probably try to get down this Breathless Knight next turn with the Basilisk Gate. Maybe just start using it right away. They can swing. I could not block. Might as well wait on it. I have a Squadron Hawk, okay. Not a lot of the versions nowadays play Squadron Hawk. Usually they've found that drawing 3 is pretty good, but they're 3 pretty medium cards. So Suffocating Fumes is a pretty good draw after seeing the Squadron Hawk. So let's just swing for 1 and play out our Breathless Knight. This blocks Squadron Hawk nicely. If they do attack with it, then I probably won't block because they probably have +2/+2. Although using it this early is, probably good for us. They're going to get a bunch of 1/1s though. If they play another Squawk, 1 or 2, and then Battle Screech, but luckily we do have the 1 Suffocating Fumes in the main deck for this exact reason. They're going to swing at the Informant. We're going to take it. We don't want to lose our Breathless Knight. Play the Squawk, play another Squawk, and they're going to Battle Screech. The greedy part of me wants to wait until their turn to Suffocating Fumes to wipe their board, but also get to trade our Cauldron Familiar for the Rafine's Informant. But the smart part of me says if they have a Guardian's Pledge in response, we just get absolutely hosed. So we're going to just play that Suffocating Fumes right now. Boom. We get a ton of value still. Wipe 5 1/1s is pretty good. We get to hit in, and also now we have our lifelink going. We know they have 1 more Squawk, but if they don't have much else flying, then our Breathless Knight can continue attacking. Well, there's of course Skyfisher, so that takes that away, that option. Plus a Grange grows the Informant. Bugler, we're probably gonna play a Stinkweed, or we could just Basilisk up the Breathless Knight for 5, gain 7. That offsets a lot of the damage they're doing. Stinkweed's a good blocker, but I can Basilisk Gate this turn, and the next turn I can Basilisk and Stinkweed. That seems pretty good. So let's play a Manor Gate, buff up our Breathless Knight, attack with it for 7, and pass. We have this Cauldron Familiar to chump, and it can come back from the Revive the Shire, although ideally I would like another permanent in my grave to actually get with the Revive the Shire, other than the Cauldron Familiar. Yeah, we're gonna go for the chump, attacking with everything. I just need to dodge a Thraben Charm and or Journey to Nowhere here. There's that Squawk. They can Prismatic Strands here. Another Basilisk Gate. Well, we're not gonna double Basilisk this turn because they can chump, but also if they Prismatic, we don't even gain the life. But we can do 1 and then Stinkweed Imp, buff it up. Oh, I should have still played the Basilisk Gate first because it would have gained 1 more life if they don't have the Prismatic. All right, they do. Fair enough. That's gonna be an inconvenience for sure. Play a Stinkweed Imp and pass. They have another Bugler. Get a Lunarch Veteran. Go to combat. Swing with a couple guys. Okay, well, we're gonna block the Core Skyfisher since it's flying. I'm fine with the trade. If they want a Prismatic Strands, that's fine too. Okay. We're going to definitely dredge this because that actually lets us use Revive the Shire as kind of like a see the top 5 and take one. They play a Veteran, so let's go for that dredge. 2 Carrot Cakes, Lunarch Veteran, Satyr Wayfinder. Okay, not bad. Carrot Cake with Cauldron Familiar is real good. Let's see. So I have 7 mana if I want it. I can Basilisk Gate, Revive, Carrot Cake. I kind of want to keep playing the Stinkweed Imp every turn, but I also kind of want to Basilisk Gate and force the Prismatic or the Squadron Hawk. If I do both this turn, I'm a little worried I'm going to die some way. Let's see if this Lunarch Veteran triggers the Breathless Knight, as I think it should. White, and there's no way we're double Basilisk Gating it, so. Okay, it does work. I was just an idiot, okay? Thank God. Works the way it's supposed to. So that's 3. So I don't think I'm going to gate this at all. If they want to take 3, that's fine. So I'm going to probably Stinkweed Imp and then Revive a Carrot Cake. And that gives me a good blocker here, and Revive can be a Cauldron Familiar, which is a blocker and a life gain and stuff. I know I'm not threatening lethal here, which means they save their Prismatic, but I think it's a little bit better this way. So let's Revive the Shire on a Carrot Cake. And let's Stinkweed Imp. So that's 3 blockers now with the Cauldron Familiar, one of which can kill anything, and flying, and a lot of benefits. And I have 2 Basilisk Gates, so I can start putting them on the Stinkweed and the Luminous Phantom so that they can't Prismatic both of them away. I can't do it on the Breathless Knight because either of the other 2 that I would do, they could use 1 Prismatic to prevent damage from both. Of course, Skyfisher, that's another blocker, and a life. And it gets them probably a Bugler back, unless they just want to go for a Grange. I think Bugler getting them some stuff is better. Guess not. They're going to Grange. What do they buff, though? If they buff a guy that's already big, I could just block with a Stinkweed Imp. If they go for like a Squadron Hawk, I guess it can block either of these guys or attack past them, which is not bad. Yeah, I think that's the right call in this situation. They have another Bugler anyway. Okay, this Veteran's a little annoying. Where's that Suffocating Fumes when you need it? Just kidding, it did its job. Novice Inspector too. Okay, they got a lot of stuff going for them. They really are clogging up the board. We're gonna block with this Stinkweed if they swing though. They're not gonna. Should I Cauldron Familiar off this food? I don't think so. We're probably playing this Carrot Cake, so I'd prefer to use it on that since that makes us blockers. Another black gate. Play that. I probably should just suit up the Breathless Knight here. Since they have 2 blockers, it doesn't matter. I mean, I kill their blockers this way, but if I suit up the Breathless Knight, I either gain a bunch or force them to use the Prismatic, which I kind of like. If they don't use it, then I'm like in a good spot. Let's just do that. Hit for 10. And if I just buff up both of these and swing, they actually don't have to use the Prismatic. They can just chump both. So this way I actually get them to use it, which is kind of what I want so that I can start gaining life off of this guy. Because if I start hitting for 10 and actually gaining the life, I'll be doing pretty well. Play a Carrot Cake, scry 1. I don't want to keep drawing lands as good as they are. I'll pass to them. So we have 5 blockers here. Since the Cauldron Familiar can make another off of the Carrot Cake and get itself back, that's 5 blockers. If they go for an alpha attack, I do need to block most of it. They could have +2/+2. If they play another land, they could have +4/+4 theoretically. They are going to go for a big attack. All right, start with the Cauldron Familiar on the Carrot Cake. Scry 1. I don't think I need another Stinkweed Imp. Drain them for 1. Grow our Breathless Knight. They could also just have a Prismatic here, which would be not bad. I guess some of our guys are white here, so like can't prevent that. What do I want to kill with this Stinkweed Imp? I guess just the Informant is probably the best one. Block a Bugler. Block a Bugler. And we're taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If they have the +2/+2, we're taking an extra 8, so that's 15. But we're at 18, plus we have a food token. I think this looks all right. Guess we'll go like that. Go to damage. All right, so we also gain 4 life off this Phantom. Stinkweed Imp's gonna do its Death Touch thingy. Probably should have gotten rid of a flyer. Probably would have been better. They have a Lunarch Veteran. So the problem is if they hold this up, yeah, they can just have another Prismatic Strands. If they do, we're just toast. I mean, they have to. They don't have any flying. So they have to have Prismatic or removal. We can Stinkweed Imp if we want to. What are we going to find off of that, though? More Cauldron Familiars. That doesn't matter. Eviscerator's Insight's decent. Stinkweed's an okay blocker. Sure, we'll go for it. Been a Prismatic and 2 Lunarch Veterans. Okay, that was pretty good, I have to admit. Let's play a Citadel Gate. Force them to use a Prismatic Strands by buffing this guy up. Attack for 12. There it is. Yeah, definitely should have killed a flyer off that Stinkweed last turn. Don't really know why I didn't. Well, I guess we're going to get a Veteran and a Stinkweed Imp again. Grow our Breathless Knight and pass. They're going to crack a clue. Ooh, they're going to swing with most of the team. So if they only have the 1 Prismatic Strands, then I can do the trick where I buff up 2 different colored creatures and attack with both of them. If they have another Prismatic Strands or removal, it's not going to work, but I think it's probably worth trying. I do get this Cauldron Familiar back here. I can also try, they're attacking for 10. I can block and I can Prismatic here, and I don't die. Well, yeah, let's get this Cauldron Familiar back. Keep growing that Breathless Knight. I mean, he's lethal by himself now. I don't even need to pump him. Go to blocks. Yeah, I mean, we might as well try to block flyers, right? I mean, these are gonna, the damage is gonna prevent from these if I have Prismatic. If I have Prismatic here, I can kill a Core Skyfisher maybe. There's no reason to do that. I guess we'll block like that. But we kind of need this to survive, so we're gonna have to Prismatic here. Prevent white sources. Probably should save this until they're actually attacking for lethal, but yeah, I don't know. Kind of just want to kill a Skyfisher while I can, but that might not be right. Oh, well, if this is a Battle Screech, yeah, that's all the blockers they need. More life gain. So close. I guess I need another Suffocating Fumes, but I only have the 1 in the deck, so that's not happening. Malevolent Rumble is not a bad draw. Let's start with that. You can get Carrot Cake, Lunarch Veteran. We have another Prismatic Strands. Okay, we're gonna get a Carrot Cake, I guess. 6. I mean, we're going to Basilisk Gate up this Breathless. We have 4 mana, so we can Lunarch. But we're gonna do that. If they don't want to, these are both black-green. I think I just messed up. I don't think I have enough white now. Oh my god. Dude, I hate these gates. It's like, I just wish that they showed the color. How is it that hard to make a black dragon gate now a black-green land like any other land? That's gonna be annoying. We're not gonna be able to leave up both of those. So they chump with a bird token. They don't Prismatic, so we gain 14. That's pretty good for us. Let's Lunarch Veteran. All right, well, we're at 30 now, so we're feeling pretty comfortable. They can still Guardians Pledge, Lunarch Veteran, Luminous Phantom of their own. I mean, they have a ton of life gain too. They're gonna just pass to us. Well, we're going to start with the Rumble again since we drew it. Breathless Knight, yeah, we'll take another one of those. suit up the one we got. See if they want to let us gain 15, or if they want to prismatic it. Nope, they're gonna let us do it. I mean, I guess we need a way to turn this into a win con. Play another Breathless Knight and pass, but now that we're so high life, we don't actually need to suit up the Breathless. We can start suiting up the smaller guys, and they're gonna have to start blocking those. They have only a couple flyers at the moment, so let's Citadel Gate on a Luminous Phantom, Basilisk Gate on a Stinkweed Imp, and swing with not those. Swing at those three. Just the big three, I guess. They're gonna block a couple. Take 9. Not sure why they didn't just take the 7, but that's okay. And I guess I'll get another Luminous Phantom. Keep doing this after so that I have mana, but I probably should just do it first so that I'm gaining more. They're gonna attack with a couple guys. I'm gonna let them go. They're trying to get blockers that have flying, and we don't want that. So I think they're just running our clock down here, but that's understandable. We're gonna attack for a bunch with 3 lethal flyers. See if they have another prismatic or a couple removal spells. I guess just 1 removal would do it. There's the prismatic. Just 1 though. That's lethal then. All right, so we're a couple minutes down, and this is gonna be a slow one because White Weenies is slow, but we get 2 Arms of Hadar. I guess nothing else here looks amazing. We have some mana, some nice removal. We're gonna keep it. Black Dragon Gate on white. Pass. Malevolent Rumble getting drawn. Maybe we should have gone for the Manor Gate, but that's okay. They're going to just crack their clue. We're going to start with the Basilisk Gate, actually, and play our Carrot Cake to scry. Try to get another land. Basilisk Gate's not bad. I do want more colored sources, but we'll take that for now. They're going to attack for another 1, and we'll take it since we don't want to block with our 1/1. They have a Core Skyfisher, pick up the Inspector, and replay it. We're just going to play our Stinkweed Imp here. Blocks pretty nicely. Uses our mana. Have a Battle Screech. Definitely gonna need that Suffocating Fumes again. Or an Arms of Hadar since we brought those in. Satyr Wayfinder, don't have a green yet. That's annoying. Well, let's get our Manor Gate down on black. And could hold up a cast down. That's probably better than anything else. Like we could beef up our rabbit, but we're definitely on the defense here a little bit. So if they go for a big attack here, we can at least kill off the Skyfisher and block a bird. You can also just Prismatic Strands. Like if they go for a big attack here and try to like Guardian's Pledge, they're attacking with everything. Yeah, so I'm gonna just kind of want to block flyers, but the Inspector doesn't die to a Suffocating. No, we should block flyers. Yeah, let's block the bird. Guardian's Pledge would be really good actually, because we could Prismatic, but they're not gonna do that, so we're just gonna cast down, kill the Skyfisher. They have an Informant, Bin of Plains, crack a clue. Problem is these cards that dig don't actually find us our Arms of Hadars or anything like that, but they're still pretty good, so I think we're gonna play a Rumble here. It does find us a Wayfinder. I guess I'll take the Citadel Gate here. Play that, get another green source, pass. Just gotta survive right now. We really wanna get that Breathless Knight so we can start gaining life. Breathless Knight's definitely the best draw against this deck. Now that I know how the Breathless Knight works properly, maybe I should just put in some Sacred Cats, because the +1/+1 counter isn't that relevant. It's good, but it's just not insane. And Sacred Cat with the Basilisk Gate's probably just better than the Lunarch Veteran. Although the Veteran's been gaining us a lot of life, too. They have a Coalition Honor Guard. Well, guess that's about to eat a cast down, since I must. And I'm pretty sure it doesn't let us Basilisk Gate. Yeah, target creature, so yeah, we'd have to Basilisk Gate that card, which I think is why it's there. Let's go for a Satyr Wayfinder. I could just Basilisk Gate up 2 of these, and like, it's not terrible, but I really want to get that lifelink, of course. 2 Breathless Knights. Oh, but I used a Wayfinder, which I can't get them off of. Citadel Gate it is. So I could hold up Prismatic Strands. That doesn't do that much. I think I'd rather just start beefing up this spawn. Attack for 6. I mean, these creatures have held them back so far. Another Battle Screech. Still looking for those board sweepers. Haven't seen any of them yet. Flashback on the Screech. Gonna pass to us. Carrot Cake. Well, let's start with a Carrot Cake. Citadel Gate, no. Question is, do I need to hold up a Prismatic here? Probably. But I can do that with I can do that and Basilisk Gate because of the spawn. So sure, let's beef up this spawn. Attack for 6. And since we have the spawn, we can still hold up Prismatic Strands. So if they do go for a big attack, especially with like a Guardian's Pledge, then we'll be okay. They chump with the Inspector. Okay. I mean, they might as well start swinging with the birds because they get in for 6 even if they lose 1 to a Stinkweed Imp. We're gonna have to start cracking Carrot Cakes to gain some life and also scry for our thing. Another Battle Screech. Okay. So desperately do we need that sweeper. Set, stop in the upkeep. Block here, take 6. I think we just wait on the Prismatic. Get the Battle Screech again. Crack this Carrot Cake. Scry 1. Black Dragon Gate. Don't want it. Upkeep. Don't have a lifelinker, so yeah, we're just gonna scry again. We're looking for lifelink and sweepers. Another carrot cake. Not what we want. Come on. Lunarch Veteran. Well, that gains life, but it does not life link. So we can Basilisk Gate, spawn, hold up Prismatic again. Probably have to use it this time. Should have played this Mana Gate first, but that's okay. They only have one creature on the ground, and this guy can block that, so we might as well swing with all of these as well. Swing for 10. I mean, 10's a lot. They're gonna chump the spawn again. Take 4. We need more lifelink creatures for sure, so Sacred Cats, I think, come in. Journey to Nowhere. Okay. I'm assuming that's taking the Stinkweed Imp. That's fine. They're gonna swing with 8 birds? 7 birds? Trying to hedge against 3 Basilisk Gate targets, which is fair. Oh, it's also good to know that this spawn, they can't Prismatic Strands against it, so if we can somehow get it through, we don't have to worry about that. 8 birds in the air. But for that reason, I don't actually want to sack it, so yeah, we're gonna take 8, go down to 6. Another carrot cake. Well, we're gonna start with a Lunarch Veteran, so that this carrot cake gains us a life when it comes down. Scry 1, revive the Shire. Finds a Breathless Knight. Is that too late though? We don't draw that till next turn, then we get the Breathless, but we have a Prismatic Strands in the meantime. But if they have a Prismatic, they can start removing the lifelink. I don't think that's gonna cut it. Oh, but we get food? Oh, it's so close. We'll keep it. Don't know if that's right, but we're gonna do it. And then if I want to Basilisk Gate this, I have to be willing to sacrifice the spawn, so we're gonna be willing, I guess. Attack with the team. You gotta chump the spawn again. Take 5. They're gonna cast their Prismatic for white. Save 4 of it, so they take 1. They have 9 in the air, so this carrot cake technically saves us, but if they then Guardian's Pledge, we will die, so I might Prismatic Strands to play around that. And if they swing all out, they're swinging 8 guys. 9? Because if we crack this and they have it, yeah, we lose. So I think we just got a Prismatic here. No blocks, but we're going to cast this. Take nothing. They need a couple blockers. They have one, though. Of course, Skyfisher. Bounce of Plains, I guess, yeah. And they can flash back the Prismatic, so that's pretty good. Revive the Shire, which we knew about. So we're going to need 5 for that, and probably hold back this carrot cake. So I don't think we're buffing anything this turn, actually. Although that doesn't force the Prismatic Strands then. So we're going to, yeah, we're going to go for it. Trying to play quick. We're going to go on the green guy, so if they want a Prismatic for green, they're going to have to take all this other damage. Attack for a bunch. They're going to block the Wayfinder. Flashback the Prismatic Strands for white, I'm assuming. No, they did it for green, so they kept their Skyfisher. Okay, we're going to get back our Breathless Knight. They have the Thraben Charm. Well, we got wrecked by a Thraben Charm either way. They have 11 damage here, so even this carrot cake isn't going to work. So, yeah. I mean, I can carrot cake now. Oh, but I gain 1 off the Lunarch Veteran. Oh, so that's exactly... Oh, yeah, I knew we got wrecked by a Thraben Charm, but that was going to happen no matter what. But that was... We're at Exacxies. That's pretty annoying. All right, well, we're dead, and we have 5 minutes for the last game. Just needed to see one of these guys. They had so... We have 3 in the deck. That's pretty reasonable. We're on the play. This hand's not going to work. This one's going to be fine. We're going to keep and get rid of this. One of these rumbles, I guess. Play a Manor Gate on black and pass. We're going to rumble here. Try to hit our lands. We got to play pretty fast. Try to hit a white land if we can. We didn't. We're just going to take the Basilisk Gate then, I guess. We do get a Stinkweed Imp, which doesn't really help us get our white source, though. They're going to play an Informant, so yeah. Do we need to not Stinkweed? We'll do it this time. And play it. They have a Prismatic and a Rafine's Informant on 3-2. We milled 4 lands and an Arms of Hadar. Well, that was exactly what I did not want to see. So they have a Squadron Hawk. Hopefully we'll get some good value out of Suffocating Fumes this game. We draw a cast down. We're gonna swing with the Stinkweed Imp. Chose black for this. I mean, we can cast most of the things in our hand. We're gonna cast this down so that we don't take that damage. I could cycle the Suffocating Fumes, but we can actually cast it, and it's gonna be pretty important with all these squawks, I think. They have another one, and just another one. Well, we're gonna leave back the Imp. See if we can draw out more X1s. Rather, we're gonna play another one. Carrot Cake's the only thing in our hand except for cycling this that actually like finds us something, and we can't actually play this right now. So Thraben Inspector, Core Skyfisher, pick up the Inspector, replay it. Satyr Wayfinder can maybe find us a land, so that'd be good. Any land that taps for white would be fantastic. That's a forest. I mean, better than nothing, but not by much. We're going to pass the turn, I guess. They have another Skyfisher. Pick up the Inspector. Play it again. Pass. We get another Stinkweed Imp. I mean, we're gonna start buffing up this Satyr, I guess, for 4 and attacking with it. It's something. We can play a Cauldron Familiar here. Stinkweed Imps are good blockers. It's hard for them to get through for sure. Play Cauldron Familiar and pass. I also have a Cauldron Familiar in our grave if we can get another food. We're gonna crack a clue. Idyllic Grange. Oh, it's gonna save a hawk from the fumes, so that's annoying. I'm gonna swing with the Skyfishers and the hawk. I guess we gotta block 2 of these guys. Probably not gonna dredge. Well, they're gonna prismatic. Yeah, I guess I should have gone for just 1 block. Play an Inspector. Thraben Charm our graveyard. Well, I didn't want the Stinkweed Imps, but I did. I guess there wasn't a lot in that graveyard. Well, we have another Stinkweed Imp, so I guess we'll do that. I mean, I think we're super dead. To be honest, I think the only way we can win this is on time. They're approaching our time, and so we just need to stay ahead of them there. Not that I like playing for the clock, but it is part of the game, and we're definitely behind enough that we're going to lose otherwise. So we start drawing really well. They're cracking a clue. Playing an Informant for another Prismatic Strands. Well, if they're swinging with the same, I'll still block. If they want a Prismatic, that's fine. Oh, nope, they're going for everything. So I'm gonna block these guys in that case. And if they want to go for it, that's fine, but we won't lose too much. Get a couple of their guys. They're gonna battle Screech. Well, our patience with the Suffocating Fumes I think is gonna pay off. I think we are gonna have to be greedy and save it for when they do that thing. And we got Revive. That could get us that, but we can't do that, so panicking. All right, we're gonna bring this back, but we're not gonna play it because we're gonna suffocating this turn. Otherwise, we're gonna super die. If they have a Guardian's Pledge, we're gonna die, but we haven't actually seen it out of them. I'm sure they're playing it because it's one of the best cards in the mono white deck, but I think that they have too many creatures with 2 toughness that I need to try to get the value out of the shrinking guys as well. They have a Skyfisher here. Bounce their Grange and play it again. If they try to save an X1, oh, they're not even gonna play it yet. All right, so they're gonna go for the swing with everything. I'm gonna block here, here, and here. And I'm going to Suffocating Fumes unless they want to do something first. They have a Prismatic. Well, I'm going to try to shrink your whole team, killing off a bunch of them, ideally. That worked. All right. They're going to be able to prevent the damage, so I can't actually kill these 2, which is pretty annoying, but we only took 2 damage there, which is pretty good. We get down another blocker and a cast down. We finally have our white source. And we're going to Satyr Wayfinder. We don't have a way to gain life, though. We need a Breathless Knight really bad. Manor Gate, 1's in the grave. And we have a cast down and a food. We're gonna pass. Question is, can they kill us fast enough? We're gonna block a Skyfisher here, probably. They're gonna Grange. We have a cast down for whatever the biggest thing is. If they buff a Skyfisher or a Squadron Hawk, it'll be that. Nope, they're smart, going for the small guy. Diversifying. Play an Inspector, crack the clue, trying to get that Anthem. We're going for a Thraben Charm in our combat. Kill the Imp, okay. Yeah, I mean, that looks to be lethal then. I can block here, and that's 10. So I cast down doesn't actually save us, but a food does. So we'll do that. We can dredge a Stinkweed Imp, which we can play, but that's not going to do enough. So we'll just draw naturally. See if we draw anything. We don't. We get a Lunarch Veteran, or we can get a Lunarch Veteran from the grave. We have a Cauldron Familiar in the grave, though, so we can Carrot Cake. We can get back the Familiar. Scry 1, cast down's not really enough. Black Gate, I think we're dead here, because I can't play this because I don't have another white. I can't play the Lunarch Veteran, so I can cast down and I can Cauldron Familiar. Puts us to 2 and has enough blockers for 4. Super close. Cauldron Familiar, the Carrot Cake. Scry 1, not another Cauldron Familiar. Kingdom for 1. Block the 3 on the ground. And shoot this Skyfisher, and we'll take lethal. Well, I definitely misplayed a little bit because the game was going real fast there because we were so low on time. We did manage to get them to be below us in time, but just a minute off. Only 1 land. We have the many partings, but no green, so we're going to have to ship this one. This one's better. A lot of lands. and a many partings. I think I might just get rid of the partings because we want the gates for all these basilisks. So Island Ponder for them. So it could be another mono blue terror. They shuffle. We're gonna Manor Gate on white. Get another Breathless Knight. That's not bad. Boomerang the Manor Gate. Well, that's pretty annoying. Citadel Gate. Okay, well, we're gonna Manor Gate for white. Pass. Hope they don't boomerang us again, because I will cry. Thought Scour. They did. Well, I will play a Manor Gate again, and now I have to start discarding lands, which is pretty freaking annoying. There's a Serpent. I mean, we've already lost, I think. Yeah. Well, I guess that's a chump blocker. Scry, no more lands, please. I guess it's a chump blocker, or maybe I need to hold it for this Prismatic Strands. I think I will, actually. Mental Note, bin 2 islands. Play another Terror. Pass. We have another Carrot Cake. I'm gonna play a Basilisk Gate. Imagine if we had 5 lands here. Imagine what we could do. Pass the turn. We're gonna have to Prismatic here. Prevent all damage, please. Deep Analysis for them. Citadel Gate. Well, we're gonna get down a Black Dragon Gate. Play another Carrot Cake. Get rid of lands. Why are we drawing so many lands? I guess I should have attacked for 1. No, because if this Prismatic Strands doesn't resolve, we need 2 blockers. So if they counter it, I will lose. So I have to block here so I don't lose. But I'm still going to do this to try to keep my guys alive for a second here. I have the counter spell, so we're going to lose our rabbits. Pretty rude. Deep Analysis. I mean, that double boomerang just killed us. I don't think we can win here. Basilisk Gate. I can play a Breathless Knight, crack one of these. Guess we're not quite dead. Sure feels like it, though. Play a Breathless Knight. We have to chump with a Breathless Knight, though. If we didn't have to and we could start gaining life, I think we have a shot. But we can crack the Carrot Cake. We're up to 7. Chump here, but then we're taking 10. So I think we're still dead. Yeah, and they have the boomerang for that. All the boomerangs they could possibly need. Bring in the Thraben Charms again. Take out the Suffocating. Satyr Wayfinder, Many Partings. I like Carrot Cake as a blocker. Revive the Shire, I guess. This hand looks pretty good, so we're gonna keep it. We can keep their terrors from coming down too early, assuming we have lands to do that with. Play a Gate and pass. They have a Delver of Secrets. Let's play a Lunarch Veteran and a Manor Gate. They're gonna Brainstorm in response to the Delver, so they're gonna make sure it flips. Might need to Thraben Charm the Delver then. They get a Mental Note. Attack for 3. We get a Rumble. We're gonna attack for 1. I feel like they're gonna Spell Pierce here, so what would I prefer? I mean, I guess I'd like to find a land for next turn off of this Rumble, so let's do that. If they get Spell Pierced, fine. 2 Breathless Knights. Well, those are pretty important too. I guess they don't do a ton if I don't get a Basilisk Gate, but we have a Carrot Cake to scry for it. Sure, we'll keep a Breathless Knight instead. Gain a life. Black Dragon Gate on white. They Mental Note. Swing for 3. Ponder. Get another Carrot Cake. Yeah, should have maybe taken that land. Attack for 1. I guess we'll play a Breathless Knight that's going to be countered probably. They have 5 spells in their grave. They didn't play a Terror this turn though, so maybe they don't have them, but more than likely they'd prefer to hold up a counterspell. So I probably should have Carrot Caked and then Thraben Charmed, but if they didn't counter the Carrot Cake, then they'd counter a Thraben Charm. But they can get down terrors, is the bad part here. So we'll see how that goes. They're going to attack for 3. They don't have any terrors. Okay, that's how it's looking anyway. Found the Black Dragon Gate. Attack for 1. Let's play another Breathless Knight. Try to get it down. No, they're just going to counter it. Let's just play a Carrot Cake. Scry on that. Thraben Charm. I actually don't think we need another one of those. I'm going to bottom that. Play a Dragon Gate. Pass to their upkeep. And then Thraben Charm. I mean, I know they've shown that they don't have the terrors, but they could just draw one, right? They could just Deep Analysis, they could just draw naturally, they could Brainstorm, draw 2 or 3. I think it's worth it. If they want to counter spell, that's fine, but probably because they don't have terrors, they don't really carry right now. They prefer to just keep this Aberration alive, which is fair. I also thought about shooting that. Then if they just followed up with terrors, I feel sick. There's a Brainstorm. There's a Basilisk Gate. If we can get this Breathless Knight down, that's pretty good. +5/+5, so that's 7. I mean, I could just start using it on the guys we have. That's a pretty fast clock. Faster than what they have. Let's try that, actually. See if this is better. Because I can play this, but if it gets countered, we're set back. Obviously, it's better if we do get it because of the lifelink, though. But if we just do this and start attacking, play another Carrot Cake, then we almost have them. I'd rather just crack this Carrot Cake, I think, so that it doesn't get countered. Plus, I have Thraben Charm up if I really need it. They're going to Thought Scour. Deep Analysis Lorien. Thraben in their graveyard. I mean, Deep Analysis, I actually don't hate them playing. Cycle a Lorien. Cycling a Lorien with 5 lands already does make me feel like they're going to go for some terrors. Yeah, let's try blowing up the graveyard. They're terrors, all right. They are scaring me into doing things that I don't necessarily want to do. They're going to counterspell it, so they care about it this time. They're going to attack for 3, play a Serpent. Viscerator's Insight. If I give this +5, they take 7. That's fine. They don't die. Let's just play the Breathless Knight, see if we can get that to stick. It does not. They've drawn every counterspell in their deck. Well, we're going to Eviscerator's Insight this Carrot Cake to draw 2. Scribe Prismatic Strands. I mean, that's not bad. We'll keep that on top. Gain a life, draw 2, get a Heap Gate, we'll play. We gotta chump this turn for the Serpent. They have a Murmuring Mystic, well that's pretty bad. And a Deep Analysis. I don't think we can really get out of this now with the Mystic unless we can get a removal spell. We've already used a bunch of our Thraben Charms, so we need a Cast Down and a Delver. Well, they're tapped out, I mean, that's something. Another Basilisk Gate. Well, I can make 2 8/8s, that's lethal, but then they can block them both. I guess I'll play this Carrot Cake. Make a guy, don't want another land, gain a life. I have a Prismatic Strands that I can hold up, sack the Carrot Cake. They reveal a Spell Pierce, flip their other Delver. Now they're just swinging with the Flyers. I mean, I have this Carrot Cake on board, so you know that I'm not dead here. In fact, I could just Eviscerator's Insight this, get a 1/1, go to 1. Then we die to Bird Illusions, but that's actually probably better. They have a Spell Pierce, which we know about. I guess I might as well play around the Spell Pierce. Let's just crack this. Stinkweed Imp. I guess that's alright. Doesn't do that much. We're just in a bad spot. Take 6 here. Pass. I guess we can't play Stinkweed and Prismatic through a Spell Pierce, so that's not great. We can flashback the Prismatic Strands, but like if they have another counterspell, then screwed. They do have a counterspell. They're just going to use it on this Stinkweed Imp. Well, I think we're dead. Swinging with just the Aberrations. They're very conservative with their attacks. We're gonna Prismatic Strands. They have a Brainstorm. We already know they have a Spell Pierce, but I guess in response to it, they want to see what they're gonna draw. There's the Spell Pierce. Play another Prismatic Strands. They got another Spell Pierce. Well, we are dead. We super lost to that Mono Blue Terror, although we did well against the other one. We went 3-2 and had a really close match 4, so I was pretty happy with the deck. It felt in the first few matches that we kind of had an answer for everything, just like a lot of Gates decks where you're kind of just answering things and eventually you're able to stabilize with the lifelink that you have. So the deck felt really good. I will say misunderstanding Breathless Knight was a big deal. I put in Lunarch Veteran as a way to gain life. It's 2 creatures, you can get it from your graveyard, but specifically you're casting from your graveyard, so it triggers the Breathless Knight, which I was thinking was a little bit more important. Seeing as it's not, the Breathless Knight being flying and lifelink is still really good and probably still worth a slot in here, but I think switching to Lunarch Veterans for Sacred Cats is probably going to make the deck better. I think more lifelink is just going to make the deck more resilient. There are definitely a couple matches where if we had a Sacred Cat instead of a Lunarch Veteran, I think we would have been able to take the games down. The other thing is I wouldn't mind adding some more Eviscerator's Insights. They worked really well with the Carrot Cake, and since we are a control deck, we have a lot of mana late in the game, so I think I might switch out some of the Revive the Shires or Many Partings for some more of them. That might mean we lower our food count a little bit, and Cauldron Familiar is part of why we have the food package in here, and I really like how Cauldron Familiar works with the Stinkweed Imp, which I thought the Stinkweed Imps actually worked really well. They were fantastic blockers, gummed up the board. This is a deck that's not just Dredge, so we have a Stinkweed Imp and then we'll play it if we need to, like traditional Dredge or the Grixis Dredge that I played. This is a deck that actively wants to play a Stinkweed Imp as a really good blocker, but also as an attacker that just keeps coming back. And so I think that's really powerful with the Gates package. So I'm definitely going to keep tinkering with the deck. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.